Good afternoon, descendants of Erdrick. I'm Destiny of a Dragon Warrior, and with me today is Diabetes, and we have the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Winter League Week 3 preview show. How's it going today, Diabetes?
It is going pretty well, good sir. Good holiday weekend. It's Valentine's Day. I'm not sure if the Dragon Lord has much love for the snowman here in our little battle scene, but I'm sure that our community is going to have a lot of love for the week of racing to come.
This would have been a great week to have Three's Company flag turned on, wouldn't it? With landing right here on Valentine's Day.
I mean, there's still time. We did, Neapolitan-ish last year around this time. That involved the Three's Company flag. Why not try it again? I'm sure everyone would love a quick flags change at the last second.
All kidding aside, the plan here in this short broadcast is to do a quick wrap up of week 2, see where the Winter League standings are landing, and then reveal the week 3 groupings, which for folks who have been taking a look at the league document probably have a fairly good idea of where they might stand and where the uh, various groupings are going to be, because week 3 is a positional round where the top 4 players in the current standing point totals will be in group 1, and then the next 4 group 2, and right on down the line. So we're going to have some very competitive races. We're going to see some folks with high point totals find some roadblocks here on their Winter League journey, and it's a perfect week for some comeback stories to come to fruition for folks who had unfortunate circumstances in the first 2 weeks and don't have the point total they were hoping for. Someone's going to get 5 points out of those races.
Very quickly, since we will be looking at the results, which will include the one race, which was Group 6, that was done a couple of days ago, but the restream broadcast is going to be tonight, there will be spoilers for that.
Yes, so if you really, really don't want spoilers, turn away now. Without further ado, here are the Week 2 results for our 10 groups, 7 races of 4 players, and 3 races of 3 players.
Another solid week of racing, really across the board, kind of looking over a lot of these here. There were just a lot of good races. I think I'll note here in Group 2, Artorias taking the win in this very competitive group with Shuef Sawney Wrath and Cyberdark. This was a really interesting race if you caught that one a couple of days ago.
See, now Artorias had to go ahead and spoil the fun and earn 5 points after I only earned 3 points, so he can continue to dodge me week after week. It's getting a little ridiculous, Artorias. GG's to EMP, who was victorious in the Group 4 race with myself, Nightdew, and Dweem. I feel fortunate to come out of that with 3 points. Nightdew was on his way to get the second place spot, had some unfortunate circumstances, and somewhere out there, the American Dweem is still looking for the grave.
I think another really high-profile group this week was group number 5. I jokingly mentioned that Synth was going to be very excited to face both Aaron Ryguy and Yakko Wacko in this one, but Synth finished in second. Again, Aaron doing Aaron things and finishing first. No surprise, 2 wins in 2 weeks so far for Aaron. Ryguy with the 3rd place finish and Yakko with the 4th. We'll need to do a little bit of work as we head here into the positional week 3 round.
Aaron possibly on the path to earn the full 25 points through the 5 weeks, like Aaron did a couple of years ago when took all of it in Winter League. In Group 9, we see our former returning champion in 2026 Winter League, Angel FM, came away with 5 points after a disappointing 2-point result in Week 1. So Angel on a bit of a comeback path. Quinn Patrick had 5 points and then took second place with 3 in Group 9. So a lot of moving around, a lot of different pieces here, different results each week, a lot of volatility with the non-standard flags that we use in Winter League, and no one is out of it just yet.
So congratulations to all of our Week 2 winners, and hopefully we will have some more Week 3 winners sometimes some new winners this upcoming week with the positional round as we take a look forward to those groupings. So, with those in tow, we can now give you the current standings overall. On the left side, we have the top 16, and then the first four out just below them, and then the remainder of the field on the right side. We have 4 players so far who have won both the first and second week, and have 10 points. Destin, anything jump out at you as we look at the standings thus far?
I'm looking near the lower end of the standings, the folks who have like 4 points and below. We've got some great runners down in that category. You've got Edge returning after several winter leagues, the American Dweem who made a deep run in 2025 summer tournament, Zarnax, a longtime player, Kigalis, also a veteran of Dragon Warrior Randomizer, Yakko Wacko, Miplet. There's a lot of great players down with a lower point total that just didn't have things go their way in week 1 and week 2. So I'm really curious which of these players in their races are going to earn that 5 points and jump way back up into the standings. At the same time, just look at those first four. We've got 4 players with 10 points. They're all going to be in the same group, and they're going to have to race each other here in week 3 in the positional round. Someone is going to be disappointed out of that and only come out of week 3 with 1 point and get a rude awakening and have to do some work in week 4 and week 5 to earn their spot in brackets. And on the other hand, whoever's the winner of that race is going to be in a pretty comfortable position heading into week 4 and week 5. Really have themselves a good cushion in case one of those races don't go their way.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is important. I think you kind of highlighted it on both the top and bottom end. Nobody is clinched a playoff position at this stage. Nobody is eliminated from playoff contention at this stage. Everybody still has an opportunity. Obviously, the path forward is a little bit easier for some than others, but especially with groups 8, 9, and 10 this coming week, three player groups. One person is going to come out of each of those with 5 points. Somebody else is going to come out with 3 points. And really, those players all will still have a chance moving forward. So everybody is still in it. Lots of great racing still to happen in week 3. And then, of course, weeks 4 and 5 to follow.
So let's quickly chat about what the week 3 flags are. The runners who have reviewed the Winter League document are familiar with what's coming up. For our viewers, this is Vanilla Week. We traditionally have 1 week in Winter League that uses the Vanilla Dragon Warrior map. The Vanilla map will have a location in each of the normal spots, but there's still going to be randomized of which town or cave it's going to be. Charlock is still in its normal location. You drop the Rainbow Bridge to cross over the water, and Swamp Cave will take you from first continent over to second continent. In addition, vanilla chests and searches is on, so all of the treasure chests, complete opposite from week 2 where we had random chest locations and we were looking in all these unusual places for treasure chests. Complete opposite in week 3 where we know where the treasure chests are and the search spots, and we know what's underneath all of them. So that means Erdrick's sword is going to be down in Charlock. Erdrick's armor is going to be under Hawksness. The starting chests in the treasury are going to be a torch and gold. So we kind of know what the path is going to be to get to all of the items. Erdrick's token is going to be in the coordinate search spot, but it's going to be a randomized search spot. It's not going to be down in the swamp tiles on the southwest portion of the map like it is in the vanilla game. Additional vanilla components in the flags this week are vanilla spell learning, which means heal comes at level 3, hurt comes at level 4, and so on. Heal more comes at level 17, so that's important to note for go level, and the players won't see hurt more until level 19, if they even make it that far. We'll also have vanilla shops, which means that the weapon and armor shops won't be randomized. So Breckenary is going to have all of the early weak gear. Flame Sword and Silver Shield are only going to be available in the locked shop in Cantlin. Warp Whistle is a flag getting introduced this week where you use it to the fairy flute to return back to a town that you had previously saved at in a predetermined rotation of towns. So if you don't stay at an inn at a town, you can't warp to it. Also, discardable flute. If you don't want the warp whistle, if you're not think you're going to be using it on the golems, it's going to clutter up your inventory, you can get rid of that guy. One of the biggest flags to note in Vanilla Week this time is running costs XP. So that's a very interesting flag, unique to the fork, where if you run from an enemy encounter, you can only run if you have 1/8 of its strength or greater in experience, and you will lose that experience. It's one of the only opportunities where you can actually lose experience, and if you're not careful, level down and lose a level and lose your um, strength and HP gains and lose a spell that you have learned. On the other side of that, we've increased the crit rate. Normally, the chance of landing an excellent move on an enemy is about 1 out of 32. This week, it's going to be your current agility divided by 256. So early in the game, it's still going to be fairly low. Like, let's say player starts with 10 agility, it'll be about 1 out of 25. So a little bit better than standard, but still not a big deal. But as we're gaining agility throughout the seed, 50, 60, 70, 80 agility over 256, our players are going to be landing an excellent move roughly 1 out of every 3 to 4 chances. Normalized monster XP and gold is on again, same as week 2, where the monsters will give a randomized but a limited uh, amount of XP and gold conducive to where they traditionally land. So slimes and red slimes are still going to be fairly low. Red dragons and blue dragons are going to be on the higher end, but like a red dragon won't necessarily be 350. It could be lower, could be a little bit higher. We saw seeds last week with 365 experience from reds. NPC guillotine is finally on. Hooray! Those NPCs hanging out in the by the Breckenary item shop and in the back of Garenham. If you speak to them, they will disappear and get out of your way. And then finally, random town entrances is back on, same as week 2, where when a player enters a town, it won't necessarily be in the normal spot. It will be in a different predetermined area for each seed. So you could end up, when entering Rimuldar, in the back by the key shop, or way down in the bottom, you have to walk all the way around to buy some keys.
So yeah, this is going to be a very unique twist on the vanilla flag set, or the vanilla-ish flag set that we've done in past years. Again, for various resources that may help you out along the way. For example, some information about what the rewards are for enemies in terms of the ranges for the normalized monster XP and gold, random town entrances, and all that stuff. That is all available in the DWR Discord, and links also in the rules document that deal with all of the specifics from the Jouef fork of the randomizer. So things like the warp whistle, what the list of towns is, what the order is, and all that stuff. So all that is available for everybody in the Discord. If you have questions or need to be pointed in the right direction, just feel free to ask and we'll be happy to do so.
I already love in chat the differing opinions of with Vanilla Map, the Cantland start, which is alongside Swamp North, probably the worst starting spot for Tantasia with Vanilla Map. We have some folks saying no Cantland start on Vanilla Map. Others are saying, hey, let's get a flag where we always have a Cantland start. Make it as brutal as possible. I love it.
Different strokes for different folks, I suppose. Some people like the pain, some people like not that, but it is what it is. We'll have something for everybody this week, I'm sure, with 10 race seeds, so we're going to have decent odds of a Tantagal start at Cantlin. We'll see what it happens. But of course, without further ado, we are going to reveal the groups. If you were paying attention to the standings, you already have a pretty good idea what the groups are going to be, but we will walk through them nonetheless. Starting off with Group 1, our 4 10-point finishers, all of which who have won the first 2 weeks, Artorias, Aaron, Judge Joe, and Zatrex. Only one of them can come away with a three-peat. We'll see what the others are willing to accept.
And then the next tier week is a group 2, week 3. So many numbers in weeks. With Zillinor, Ziggy7Z, Destiny of a Dragon Warrior, and Jeff. I'm intimidated by this group. In there with a couple of great players, and I'm looking forward to earning my 1 point and moving on from there.
In Group 3, we have Quinn Patrick, Big Slamu, Chris, and EMP.
Quinn Patrick going through the gauntlet. Got Angel FM last week, gets Big Slamu, Chris, and EMP this week. That's another highly competitive group. Group 4, Rye Guy, Diabetes the Second, Angel FM, and Chad Burt. Wow. How did this group of folks get down to Group 4?
I have some thoughts about this group. We have week 5 next. We have Mand, we have Night Dew, we have Beta, and we have Jay Coper.
Group 6 is Sandcraft, Lord of the Synth, Silly Dabbit, and Edge.
Next up in Group 7, we have NG Dave, we have Dweem, Zarnax, and Kigalus.
Group 8, now we're down to the 3-player groups, Tybalt, Miplet, and Yakko Wacko.
In Group 9, we have Sonny Wrath 11, IC10As, and Sassage Link.
In Group 10, Oog, Old Vampire Lady, and Cyberdark.
And there we have our 10 groups for week 3, positional assignment based on the finishes for the first 2 weeks. Again, keep in mind any ties that there were. So, for example, we have some 7s and 8s that are mixed together, or 8s and 7s and maybe in different groups. Everything is based on number of points and then the strength of schedule markers. So all of that is in the spreadsheet. So that's why the ordering is what it is. There are some interesting groups. I think we already highlighted Group 1 a little bit. So all of these runners here have won their first 2 weeks. Only one of them will be able to walk away with another win. And it won't be, well, it very well may be guaranteed a playoff position at that point. But again, this is going to be a very, very competitive group. And the vanilla-ish flag set, I think, is going to make it very interesting to see who is able to cope with those the most.
Judge Joe could be the wild card in that group. Artorias, Aaron, and Zaytrex all returning Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament players. Judge Joe in his first DWR event, 5 points in each of the first 2 weeks in the highly Group 1. Wow.
Also take a second to highlight my own group here with myself, Rye Guy, Angel, and Chadbert. This is a heck of a group. I kind of joked a bit after my race. Again, spoilers for the race later, but I did finish in 3rd place in that race. And my comment after the fact was, oh, clearly this was intentional. Therefore, I don't want to win 2 in a row. Then I'd be stuck in Group 1. That would be terrible. This is much better. I'm not I'm not sure if I really like this, but it is what it is. This is going to be another very competitive race, but again, it's like most of the groups here. Which group would I prefer to be in among like the top 5, 6, 7 groups? It's like, do I want to go against Aaron and Artorias, or Zillinor and Ziggy, or and Destiny, or EMP and Slamu and Quinn? It's like everybody in the field here is so competitive that all the groups are a little bit difficult. But I think these are very well balanced, which is good.
I'm excited. We're going to have a lot of interesting races, especially week 3, introducing one of the more unique flag sets that we have in Winter League this year. Folks who are going to emerge from this with 5 points are definitely going to have to earn it. Going to be a lot of fun to watch.
All right, so we're going to take the opportunity on the admin side to get everybody sorted into their groups. It'll take a few minutes once we are done here on the broadcast. But once we do, you are free to communicate with your competitors and set up your times as, as you see fit. Obviously, the sooner we get those done, the sooner we have the schedule, the way we can get our volunteers in place and whatnot. Again, big thank you to the volunteers that we've had for the first couple of weeks here. If we do have more people who are interested in joining along, especially on the restream side, but also in the commentary booth and in the tracking booth, we're also trying to make a concerted effort to get the schedules out there as early as possible and then solicit volunteers as early as possible so everyone's not trying to figure things out at like 7:30 when the race starts at 8. So I really appreciate, and we, on the behalf of the admin staff, really appreciate everybody's willingness to contribute and assistance that you provided thus far.
100%. Well said, Diabetes. And speaking of that, we do have our final vodcast scheduled for this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern. In about what is that, 2.5, 3 hours from now. We do need 2 commentators and 1 tracker. Last I checked for that broadcast. So if you're able to volunteer and want to yap about a race and see how Diabetes didn't take first place in that one, let's feel free to jump into the Discord and volunteer for that. We have a first time restreamer going this evening. We appreciate that. And yeah, looking forward to all the volunteers. Appreciate your help. And good luck and have fun to all of the racers.
I think that's going to do it for the Week 3 reveal show. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out with us this afternoon. As Destiny said, join us at 8 p.m. Eastern for the Week 2 Group 6 vodcast race. That was myself, Chadbert, Zillinor, and Edge. And then look forward to some Week 3 racing, potentially starting as early as tomorrow. We're not going to be sending a raid out this afternoon, but we would welcome you to join again at 8 p.m. Eastern here on GW Randomizer for that broadcast. On behalf of Destiny and the rest of the admin staff, thanks again, everyone, for hanging out, and we will see you again soon.